벤치마크 게임즈 CEO 데이비드 시라지 님이 보내주신 게임화를 통한 과학적 채용 및 인사 조직 관리의 진화 발전에 대한 영상을 지금부터 함께 시청하시겠습니다.
Hello everyone, my name is David Szilagyi. I am from Budapest, Hungary. I work with Benchmark.games, and our local partner and friend asked me to provide this conference presentation because I am not able to attend in person as of today. We are based out of Budapest, Hungary, and we are getting close to another round of lockdown. So that's why I'm giving this presentation from my living room. Apologies for this particular context. What I would like to share with you today is what we do at Benchmark Games, what type of games and game-based assessments, different type of assessments we apply in order to digitalize the recruitment companies, the recruitment process of different companies. And I will also show a couple of videos about the type of games that we use and the reports that are generated. Simply put, we practically design and develop games that act like a tool for pattern recognition. We use the games to collect data about how candidates think and behave, how they make decisions, and we use machine learning algorithms to compare the pattern we have observed and identified and compare that pattern through these algorithms to high-performing employees' decision-making patterns. Let me share my screen, and I will pause the video for now so we can all focus on the presentation, and I will also start the video in a second. We apply different type of game mechanics to measure different type of cognitive abilities and competencies. We mostly use the games on top of the funnel. Let me start the video, just a brief one, about one of the primary tools that we use in the recruitment process at the top of the funnel. The name of the game is Curiosity. It is a logic puzzle game that needs to be completed under time pressure. It takes less than 15 minutes, can be started on multiple platforms through the browser. Just a fun fact, a game that is taken under 15 minutes captures a couple thousand data points. And based on that type of data set we can record, we generate a report right afterwards. Let me share a little bit of what the game looks like. It's a very simple game mechanics. You need to navigate the player, the arrow or the airplane on the screen from one end to the other. There are different type of challenges throughout the levels that needs to be learned, and there are primary and secondary objectives as well in the game-based assessment, and we measure how the candidates think, what decision-making process they go through, how they can be flexibly adapting to new environments in the game. One important feature that we like is every single candidate, right after taking the game-based assessment, will be able to see a brief report about the strengths. That's because we would like them to feel good about themselves and the company they just applied for. At the very same time, decision makers can see this particular report after somebody plays the cognitive ability assessment in Curiosity. It differentiates the work style. We measure how precise and how fast the candidate was. There's a visual representation of what the scores are that the candidates could achieve. What really matters here is the shape of the profile. There is no such candidate who can have 9 or 10 at each and every competency. That's why we focus on what are the strengths and what are the areas for development, if there's any. In the report, we can also read a little bit about the competencies achieved throughout the observation and the game-based assessment. The numbers are in percentiles, which means that if the particular candidate has a 7.5, 7.1 score at flexibility, it means that the person was more flexible than 71% of the people compared against. If we have a benchmark profile created based on existing top performer employees in the company, then it clearly shows how the candidate can be compared to the top performers in the company working in the same position. We mostly apply that game in white collar type of positions, fresh graduate type of positions, call center, sales, developer related openings. And these are some of the companies that have been enjoying the benefits of a digitalized recruitment process that has games in it. Some other games I would like to show you is, for example, the Dato game. It's a very simple, underdefined problem-solving situation where you need to build a structure in order to reach the rotary sun. There are multiple levels in this game, and we measure how much the candidate plans in order to achieve the goal, or the person is more goal-oriented and strikes towards the sun without putting too much planning in the process. This game takes 10 minutes total and also generates a report right after finishing the game-based assessment. We also work with a game-based tool called Multitask. This type of assessment is more like an ability assessment. We practically measure how well the candidate can focus on two different parts of the screen at the very same time. So how the person, it's not really multitasking, it's more about switching attention. So we observe the dynamics of switching attention and how accurately the candidate can type and follow instructions, solve mathematical related questions. And here again, it's more about switching the focus from one end of the game-based assessment to the other one. So as mentioned, different game mechanics are able to measure different type of competencies. And whenever we have a new customer to be onboarded, first we need to understand what are the special characteristics of the high-performing employees in the position. Once we understand what type of competencies we should be measuring, we always recommend 1, 2, or in some cases, 3 different games to be embedded in the process. But we most usually apply only one game to make the process more engaging and fun for the candidate. And at the very same time, the game can be part of the shortlisting process. Let me share 3 different type of projects that we usually are involved in. One is when we have unconventional sourcing strategies that we are complementing. Companies like Telenor or T-Mobile, so large telecommunication companies, usually like to make the process more fun for their candidates. This is an example of a project we have done for Telenor, where they were looking for senior product owners that they could not source from traditional job boards. So in that case, we created an ad that basically was focusing on the type of candidates they wanted to attract And we gave them an opportunity to take the game-based assessment even before they would go through an elaborate application process. If they are interested, they should play. And after they took the assessment, they received an automatic feedback report, and the decision makers could reach out to the candidates whose profiles was the similar to the ideal profile that they were looking for. That's how they could very rapidly fill the position after they were not successful on job boards. The social media campaign deemed to be successful. Another project that we do for telecommunication companies like T-Mobile, they have very strict performance indicators or KPIs for the HR department as well. That includes reducing the time to hire as much as possible. So what we do for them, and with T-Mobile, twice a year is what they call a 24-hour recruitment campaign. By the way, this type of campaign has been awarded by local HR and PR conferences as well. The idea here is that there's a gentleman on the left-hand side who's a YouTube influencer. The YouTube influencer talks about an upcoming opening, a couple weeks before the application is open. He shares some of the insights from the game and the report the candidates will receive. And on Monday, every single candidate can start the game-based assessment. As soon as they finish, they are invited to a video interview. So finally, the recruiters on Tuesday, so basically the next day, they can start watching the video interviews of the candidates whose profile, based on the Benchmark.games assessment, is the most similar to the high-performing ones. So they start to review the candidates who have the highest potential of becoming high-performing team members at T-Mobile. We apply the same type of approach for the region's largest insurance company, that is called Aegon Insurance. And the emphasis here is also on the ability to source candidates through social media and invite them in an engaging game-based assessment that will give them unique reports and feedback that you can see on the right-hand side. One of my favorite area is when we support coding schools, data science boot camps, or DevOps academies, for example, in the US. The idea here is we have mapped what type of interpersonal, and cognitive skills are required for somebody to become an IT professional, like a developer, front-end developer, back-end developer, or data scientist. We have built profile for measuring those type of capabilities and potential. And we use this in order to predict who will have the highest likelihood of becoming a successful developer with the least amount of resources dedicated on training, mentoring, and teaching the candidates. Another interesting type of project we usually do for large enterprise companies, for example, in Pakistan and India, where we see more than 10,000 candidates in an application process just through a week, is for the company called Zifo R&D. They are a fairly big pharmaceutical IT company working for large pharma companies. And they can organize university recruitment drives in India with the top tier universities. And we usually have more than 10,000 candidates in these recruitment drives twice a year. So that's a really good example for how high volume hiring can be um, taken seamlessly with without a lot of resources, manual resources dedicated on the project from the HR personnel in the team in the company. We usually do similar type of project in Pakistan as well. We've been supporting the largest banking companies, UBL and HBL, Habib Limited Bank, and in those type of projects, we've had more than 6,000 candidates who went through the process. One type of metric that is important is the completion rate. So we usually see around 90 or above 90% of the candidates start and finish the game-based assessment without any problems. So we can report fairly high engagement and very low churn rate at the type of projects we support. We can customize the landing page. We usually customize what the game looks like, and we can also customize and brand the reports as well. Since game-based assessment and using such tools in the recruitment process is still very rare globally, we usually see that the candidates are excited and really interested about the process and the results, and they've been coming back to us with fairly positive feedback, and they report they had a good experience, and they report they are satisfied with the reports we usually provide them with. Thank you so much for your time today. I will also share a little bit of more videos, and happy to talk and jump in a Zoom meeting or any other platform if you have any questions, or if you would like to try one or more games. We would be happy to walk you through how the games work, how the reports work, what the entire process feels like, and it would be great to start a cooperation with pioneering local companies that would like to a little bit shake up the recruitment process by making it digitalized. And we have also seen that some of these projects can work like DEI, so diversity, equality, and inclusion type of projects, where we can focus on the potential of the candidates and not really on how the candidate's resume is written, what is in the CV, how they write the motivational letter. So we believe our small team of scientists, data scientists, and psychologists believe that what really matters is how the candidates think and behave, how motivated they are. And less important today is what is in the CV and what is in the resume. So happy recruiting. I'm wishing you a peaceful end of the year. Thank you so much for your attention. Take care. Bye.
Hero Month is Delivery Hero's month of giving back, and it's happening every year in October. And it's a time when Delivery Hero partners up with a lot of social organizations throughout Berlin, and we organize a lot of events with these organizations, so to have a lot of possibilities for our employees to give back to the community where they live and work in and to have an impact. So this year we had more than 50 events happening throughout Hero Month here in Berlin, but actually it was even more when we look at all the local entities who helped as well and teamed up and supported Hero Month this year. The events that we had were both virtual and in person. And what our heroes did, for example, is that they helped to sort rescued food, they helped to cook for people in need, a lot of them became mentors. We had a group of people who helped to collect and shred plastic as well, and so many different activities.
So we are here at Berliner Tafel. We are helping the organization to sort the food and package the food that will be distributed to the different main points across the city for the people in need.
I'm volunteering for a project that we're doing with Ready School. It's about making sure that the students are ready for technical interviews.
We're cooking here in our development kitchen. We use leftover samples and we prepare food that will be given to the homeless afterwards.
So we are here today at Merijan and we are supporting the company to sort, clean and shred plastic and make new products out of it.
Today we're doing plogging. That means that we're going to pick up trash around the city, helping to make the city a little bit nicer. It feels good, you feel happy afterwards, and things like this is really what makes Delivery Hero different. We are heroes because we care.